I'm in here swatting fruit flies in the office. Hey, there's a W on these. Are these for swatting George Bush vampire bats? Anyways, a little bit of humor there. They've got bills introduced to arrest you under felony charges if what you say hurts anyone's feelings. It actually says that. I know you've been holding callers, but I've been on a roll today. Jim Tucker's with us for 20 minutes, and then we will go to Don, Tom, Pastor William, Steve, Michael, and others. You can call back in if you want to go ahead and get off the line, or you can wait and we'll get to you. There's just massive news, all off the charts. It's all completely insane. Bilderberg group news as well. I wanted to go to Jim Tucker now. We've got a story up on prisonplanet.com from the latest news release put out by Daniel Estulin. We had Daniel Estulin coming on the show Monday, and I was reminded that it was Jim Tucker back in 2008 when fuel was $149 at the time in June. He said that they were going to cut the price in half, and everybody laughed at him, to bankrupt Venezuela and other nations. Now Soros has come out and said they did just that. Jim Tucker, and everybody was talking about Lindsey Williams. Lindsey Williams had this Atlantic Richfield connection and all this stuff, and he did separately have that connection. But we had already broken this in an article written at prisonplanet.com. Secret of Bilderberg agenda to microchip Americans leaked. Elitists want microchip Americans in the name of fighting terrorism. Europeans universally opposed to attack on Iran. Globalists fear oil prices rising too quickly. And you read the area here on page 2, and it has it all. So I wanted to get Jim to go back to his memory a year ago. Remember when it was $149 a barrel? I think it was 147 by then. And now here we are at 40-something bucks a barrel. And kind of give us any other tidbits, because we kind of glazed over that when he said it at the time from his Bilderberg contacts. Jim Tucker, good to have you here with us.
It's always fun.
It's always fun, my friend. We're going to break in a minute, so you get a cigarette in 2 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. All right, this is the choo-choo train we're talking to. The real gumshoe Jim Tucker. Jim, Daniel Estulin, Danny, has come out with new information, as you know, and talk about that after the break. But first, go back to a year ago, your Bilderberg contacts. I guess you didn't toot your horn about this. 140-something bucks, now 40 bucks? What specifically did they say?
Well, we were reported immediately that the Bilderberg people had said that we're going to have to bring the price of oil down. They had brought it up a few years earlier. They had brought it up. Now they said they have to bring it down because they were afraid Joe Sixpack would stick with his small car, stick with the railroads or the public transportation, unless they got the prices down quickly. And they did not want to lose Joe Sixpack on the highways. So, well, as you said, nobody believed it at the time, and I'm not writing. Wasn't writing any predictions. I was simply writing what Bilderberg was going to try to do. They normally succeed. So, as you said, the price, we reported immediately that the Bilderberg was going to try to bring down the price of oil from $149, almost $150 a barrel, to $40 a barrel. They got it down briefly below $40. But that started to unfold immediately with the right people, both in the Far East and in the United States, saying the right things immediately after Bilderberg. I mean, so quickly, it reminds me of when I think it was a Trilateral Commission meeting in California some years ago, where Bilderberg called, the Trilaterals called for 10-cent hike in the federal gasoline tax in the United States. And the following Tuesday, after the meeting broke up on Monday, the Washington Post on the editorial page called for a 10-cent hike in the price of the federal tax on gasoline.
Okay, Jim, Tucker, stay there. We're going to come right back to you in T-minus 3 minutes. Jim Tucker, just an amazing icon, the man who exposed Bilderberg Group over 30 years ago when the newspaper said he was crazy, it didn't exist. Now Fox, CNN, BBC all report it and say, hey, world government's good. Hand in your firearms. The good old folks at New Silver Solution. And the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to a super small, nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at Infowars.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. All right, we're back live. A few news stories I didn't get to yesterday. This is the type of stuff I don't get to. London Telegraph, swine flu, inflatable mortuaries, and express funerals planned for flu pandemic. It goes on to talk about giant incinerators to burn the dead bodies, how they rolled all this out in the UK and the US, saying we're ready for the pandemic. All we've ever done is report the mass grave sites they've got ready for pandemics, the mass incinerators. We've read the executive orders. We've read the news articles, and then Glenn Beck and Popular Mechanics write articles saying none of it exists. We made it up. Well, here's the London Telegraph. I mean, I'm just another article. I mean, the whole point is this is all set up, and they're ready for this. That's all we're reporting. But again, what they do is straw men. They'll go to one site where there isn't mass graves and say, see, it's all discredited. That'd be like if I said dolphins don't exist. People said, okay, we'll prove that. So I took you to middle of Kansas to a field of wheat and said, look, there's no dolphins here. Dolphins don't exist. Proof. 100%. That's what Glenn Beck and others do. You can really trust me. I'm going to get to the bottom of these camps. I think they're real. Then a month later, after all this hype, they're not real. It's a total fraud. Here's Popular Mechanics. Let me take you to an Amtrak station that isn't a camp, that some kook said 15 years ago was, and then discredit all the serious research documenting that. Okay, going back to Jim Tucker. Jim, I would guess that you've seen Daniel Estlund's new report. We've got it up at prisonplanet.com right now. And I've been trying to find my article. I had it here. They dropped so many articles on my desk. It's buried somewhere, where Bilderberg wants to engineer a depression, feudalism, to bankrupt the world economy so that they can bring in more control, bring in a new bank of the world, new global currencies. But isn't this just a repeat of what they're always saying, always doing, always pushing, always wanting?
Well, yes, it's all part of their agenda. But now they have, whether it was manufactured or not, a global economic crisis they're going to exploit. Now, I have great confidence in Danny Estlund's work. We've collaborated for years and years at Bilderberg meetings. We pool our information. Well, in Europe, where there's a large number of reporters from major newspapers and outlets, broadcast outlets attending, we all meet every evening and pool our information. We're not competitors, we're collaborators, and confirm each other's findings as far as possible. And Danny has always been right, and his information, from the Paul Prison Planet account, is consistent with and expands upon everything I've found out about trilaterals with their common agenda in Tokyo in late April, and in getting information on the Bilderberg agenda for this year. We knew that they were going to exploit it, and he does expand on my earlier findings that Bilderberg would be exploiting the economic crisis in an attempt to get everybody, especially to these bad old Americans who believe in national sovereignty, to agree to a sort of worldwide global Department of the Treasury, which of course be a big step toward world government, which is the ultimate goal. But we can take heart in the fact that Bilderberg has been blocked so far in these attempts. We can be proud of the fact that young Americans, many of them wearing Ron Paul baseball caps, turned out for these various rallies. They turned out at Bilderberg last year in Chantilly in large numbers, and they're carrying a message back to educated, older, affluent, and couch potato generation.
Absolutely. Again, your book, Jim Tucker's Bilderberg Diary, is an excellent chronicle of your 30-plus years covering them. It is available, I should add, at the online bookstore of Infowars.com, or folks can call toll-free to get it at 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. Just full of photos and documents and articles and all of The Exploits of Bilderberg Exposed by Jim Tucker. Now, Jim Tucker, what new intel have you gotten since we talked a few weeks ago, building up to the meeting in June in Greece? Break down the dates of that. Where it is?
Actually, it's in May.
Late May. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'll go to Greece next Monday by flight to.
It's early May. Okay, I was wrong. Okay.
Oh, May 14, 17, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be going to flying to Athens, which is next door to Vulimini, where the scene of the crime. Next Monday, I'll be there Tuesday evening. It's an overnight flight from Dulles to in a connection.
I don't know how I got it in my head that it was in early June again. It's normally then or in late May. They're kind of having it early this year, aren't they?
Well, it's not unprecedented. I remember they met, I think it was in Munich, about the first weekend in May one year, but that was the earliest I've ever known them to meet. Early May. It's normally late May to mid-June. But this year, May 14, 17.